All right, this is part 3 of lesson 5.4. So now we are going to graph some systems of inequalities and see how those would be represented, how they would look. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw a simple coordinate system. All right, and now I can look at these two. So if I look at this first one, y is going to be less than 2x minus 1. So we know that in this particular equation, we know that the y-intercept is going to be negative 1. So I could go down to negative 1. I can make a line. And we know that every time we go over 1, we're going to go up 2. And since it's a y is greater than, we want to make this a dotted line going off in both of these directions. And then for our other equation, we have, and since this is y is greater than, we would be shading everything above this. But we're not going to do that yet because we've got another equation to contend with, and we want to get the area that they both have in common. So let's look at this other one. We see that y is less than negative 1/2 x plus 4. So we know that the intercept here is going to be 1, 2, 3, it's 4. And then it's a negative slope, so every time we go over 2, we go down 1. So go over 2, go down 1. It's pretty close to hitting that line. And again, it's a less than, so we want a dotted line rather than a solid line. And so this one is less than, this one is greater than. So again, these are our, this is y is greater than 2x minus 1. This line over here is y is less than negative 1/2 x plus 4. And so the area that they have in common is going to be anything in that vicinity. Anything that's below this line but above this line, anywhere in there, that's what those two inequality systems will have in common. So let's look at another example. Again, we'll set up a fast system here. Just do some quick graphing. This doesn't have to be super exact for these fairly simple inequalities. So we have y is greater than negative 2x plus 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. We know that is a point with a negative 2x. So that means every time we go over 1, we go down 2. So that's going to give us that particular line. We can see that since it's greater than, we would want that to be a dotted line. And it's going to be anything that goes above that line. And then our other line is y is less than or equal to 3x minus 1. So we go down to negative 1. That's a point. Then every time we go over 1, we go up 3. 1, 2, 3. So they seem to have that particular point in common. And this one, we will draw a solid line because it's a less than or equal to. This one is greater than or equal to. This one's less than or equal to. So we are looking at any of the area above this dotted line and possibly touching this line and below. And that would be our area there. All right, let's look at one more example on this page. Again, we will draw a fast, quick coordinate system. Okay, so first we just have y is less than 4. So we can go up to 1, 2, 3, we can go up to 4. And we know it's less than that, so we are looking at simply a dotted line that moves across. And then we have y is less than or equal to negative x plus 1. So again, we go to this coordinate, we have 1. And then negative x means every time we go over 1, we're going to go down 1. Basic. And then this one can be straight line. Since this is supposed to be less than or equal to, and this one's supposed to be less than or equal to, we're looking at anything potentially touching this line, touching the solid line, but not the dotted line, and below.